All right, so we are live with you on clickorlando.com, the New 6 Click Orlando YouTube page, and then also on the New 6 Pinpoint Weather app. We are watching live as a very ominous storm passes through Port Canaveral. We're looking at a shelf cloud here and watching both of these things. If you're just joining us, I'm certified meteorologist Jonathan Kagas, and we're watching some wind gusts that came out of Osceola County and moved through Brevard County, estimated of about 60 to 70 miles an hour. A severe thunderstorm warning does continue for Brevard County until 5 o'clock Eastern. This is going to be on July 31st. But the crazy thing here that we are watching is this insane shelf cloud that has developed. We were watching some nasty weather up the road in Daytona Beach, and now we have very nasty weather moving through the Space Coast, and you see the ominous clouds right there. I want to show you again at a bigger view here. Take this full and just look at this ominous cloud. You can see some of the lightning strikes in the background. Share this, tell your friends. Again, as this moves through, as I'm doing this, I'm going to get back. I'm going to kind of manipulate the radar to show you what's going on and where we're kind of watching from here. So bear with me just 1 second, and I will show you exactly what's happened. So we're back on the split screen here. The camera is positioned right here at Port Canaveral. So let me kind of mark this out. The camera is right about here. We are looking at, this is the shelf cloud. The radar is picking that up as some of the bugs, maybe some dust or debris getting lofted up here as that comes through. So that is the shelf cloud. That is as a result of the rain-cooled air that is kind of dropped down from the storm, hit the ground, went splat, and kind of moved up. And as the warm, moist air is kind of going up and over that rain-cooled air, it kind of lifts, it cools itself, and then condensates, and then we get condenses, I should say, and then it gets that cloud there. So that ominous shelf cloud that we are seeing as one of our camera directors kind of moves the camera over so we can get that better shot there. Again, as that warm, moist, humid air goes up and over that rain-cooled dome of more stable air created by that downdraft of the thunderstorm behind it, that's what we are starting to get there. We get that ominous-looking shelf cloud out ahead of that main thunderstorm. So that's exactly what we're seeing here. So again, there's our camera. There's the outflow boundary, that rain-cooled air that's creating this shelf cloud that we have, and then some nasty thunderstorms back behind it. Let me turn the lightning on so you can see there. That's all the lightning strikes coming on at once. Some very electrified thunderstorms, in addition to the potential for 60, maybe even 70 mile per hour wind gusts. Let me see if we have any comments here. DJ is wondering if it's going to be heading to Georgia. You have your own thunderstorms, but this cell in particular is not going to come to Georgia. It looks a little green back there, and every now and then you can see the lightning associated with this storm as well. So just really crazy stuff. Again, if you're just joining us on our YouTube page, clickorlando.com, New 6, WKMG, or on our streaming app, free download Pinpoint Weather app, or on clickorlando.com. Look at this thing. Again, we are getting up close and personal. Again, I just want to show you here of what's going on. Our camera is that top circle. So let me bring back up the radar page, because it kind of gives you perspective as to what is going on and how these things are developing. Our camera is right here. We are seeing the outflow here. The radar is showing that because it's kind of blowing around some bugs maybe, or some dust or dirt being kicked up by that rain-cooled air. The parent thunderstorm is back here. As the rain cools the air, it falls to the ground, it becomes a little more dense, hits the ground, goes splat, and goes out in every different direction. That is the outflow. As that outflow goes out, then you have warm, humid air still out ahead of that outflow boundary, out ahead of that shelf cloud, out ahead of the outflow boundary. And then as that warm, humid air goes up and over that outflow boundary, it cools and condenses, and then that's where you get that shelf cloud to develop, that ominous, jagged-looking thing. That's the shelf cloud. Sorry, I had to leave abruptly. They keep moving the camera. I'm trying to show you guys the shelf cloud, and they keep moving the camera, and we're missing the shelf cloud. But nonetheless, cool, ominous shot there. I do want to just make sure that everybody is up to speed if you're just joining us on clickorlando.com, on the Pinpoint Weather app, and on our WKMG Click Orlando News 6 YouTube channel, that we are watching the potential for 60 to 70 mile per hour wind. So I'm going to do the switcheroo again. I want to get this back to the main radar source here. And then I'll switch so we can keep on watching the port cam up there. But I want to show you get the lightning off of here. We're going to take some of the winds. And again, the radar wind data isn't going to be that great because we're kind of close by to the radar, especially where the strongest part of the storm was earlier. That was in and around Melbourne or west of Melbourne. It was closer to Vieira. That is what all these dark greens are, though. Still wind speeds anywhere from 40 miles an hour. But again, those are going to be estimated low because it's so close to the radar. And we're looking like closer to the surface. All right. So the strongest part of this storm now is pretty much right on US 1. The severe thunderstorm warning rolls for Brevard County for another 15-ish minutes. We're going to be streaming with you live for another 15 minutes. It does not include Mims. It does include Titusville, but the worst of that storm now, or maybe south side of Mims, it's still, yeah, just south of Mims. Indian River City, Bellwood, Port St. John, we are taking it on the chin right now with some very, very heavy rain. A lot of lightning. This is heading towards Cape Canaveral, of course. We were watching that live. You can see that. That's Port Canaveral right down the road from the Cape. You can see the heavy rain now in the background. The sky cam's starting to shake. Water's getting a little choppy. That's the wind associated with that shelf cloud right behind it, that outflow boundary, which has now made it to right here. So we are pretty much, and that's why we're seeing the camera starting to jostle. The winds, as a result of that outflow boundary, which produced that shelf cloud, have now made it to Port Canaveral. All right. Hoping it lightens up soon on the YouTube comment. Bike home after work. Still hearing some thunder and rumbling in Oviedo. We'll go check in on Oviedo for you again, as we have alerted everybody in Brevard County, and you know what's going on with that very ominous sky and the strong storms that are nearby. Let me get back to my radar control, and I'm going to zoom this back out for you. At least I'm happy to report that the thunder that you're hearing is to your east. These are likely some of these very light gray strikes here. That's likely what you were hearing. Those happened about 15 to 30 minutes ago. So I'm optimistic that you're going to start to quiet things down a little bit. There are those lightning strikes, but it's still going to be raining lightly for a while. I don't think it's going to be as intense. It won't be as intense as what we're kind of seeing out closer to the coast right now, east of you. But we are going to be dealing with some rain for a while. There is the loop, and you see that moving through Oviedo, so it's going to pick up again. I don't think we cleared things out for another hour or two, as it kind of stays raining lightly for a while. Even still some lightning down towards Hunters Creek for us in Kissimmee, Celebration, St. Cloud, even though, look at all that lightning kind of pushed through. Lots and lots of lightning. So I hope that helps. All right, we're going to head back up the coast. We're going to check in on our friends in Daytona Beach, Flagler County as well, because we did have some stronger thunderstorms moving through that we had to clear the beach for. Flagler Beach, Bunnell, we have some lightning around. Certainly not as intense, though, as what we're seeing down the road, I-95. Oak Hill, another little patch. We were talking about that for you a little while ago. There goes the Skycam bouncing around. Melbourne, we have some lightning. Grant, Valkyria, Palm Bay, Malabar now getting in on this. We're included in that severe thunderstorm warning, of course, for the next 10 minutes or so. Jonah wants to check in on Stewart on YouTube. Heck yeah, my man. We're going to go check on that right now. We're going to take a trip right on up. Miko, Valkyria, Malabar. We're going to go up 95 for you. Melbourne, we're getting rocked. Palm Shores, Pineda, Vieira, Rockwell. Sorry, getting there to Stewart. Cocoa, Sharps, Port St. John, Bellevue, into Indian River City, and then into Titusville, Turnbull as well. Further up into Brevard County. So just wanted to check in on Stewart first. On the rest of Brevard County as we're under this severe thunderstorm warning as well. Then I would hop down to Stewart for you real quick. Just give me 1 second. Wow, NFL agents at Citrus County. Yeah, they were nasty in the Orlando area too. So here's the nasty stuff closer to Stewart. There's Port St. Lucie into Fort Pierce. And we still have lightning around, but I'm happy to report in Stewart that the worst is going to be over. Don't want you going outside or anything like that because there's still lightning around. But the worst of the storm is further up the road towards Indian River Estates, towards Port St. Lucie, and then maybe even closer to Vero Beach. Rockledge, Cocoa Beach into Cape Canaveral, Port St. John. Our severe thunderstorm warning continues for about the next 10 minutes. There comes the heavy rain towards Port Canaveral. It has now arrived there. All right, so there's a look at Port Canaveral right now. We could see the cruise ship a few minutes ago. You can't anymore. Look at how strong the wind is. Looks like a tropical storm out there in the foreground with some of the palm trees right on the left-hand side of your screen that you can still barely see. This is how intense these storms have been this afternoon, especially south of Orlando. We got rocked in Orlando earlier. Again, potential lightning strike along the 408 through Orlando, so we're waiting to see about any conditions. And then the worst of the weather is still just hanging on, as it typically does, right along the Space Coast. But just look at how, we kind of watched this all come in together. The first signs of the shelf cloud, we hopped on here at about 3:30. The first sign that the shelf cloud popped up closer to 4 o'clock. We were kind of watching that in the distance kind of develop all the way through. So hopefully no damage, but it was certainly, again, happening in real time there as we watched that go through. Let's see here. You got it, Jonah. Appreciate you tuning into the live stream. He put a comment in on our clickorlando.com News 6 WKMG YouTube page. And if you are finding this helpful on YouTube, give it a thumbs up. That does help us out a lot. I'm gonna cut it at 5. But thank you. That's perfect. That's perfect. Thank you so much. All right, so we are watching this severe thunderstorm move through parts of Brevard County, really along I-95, really Titusville and Point South, all the way to Micco. This is a common sight right now, as we are watching a lot of lightning. I mean, wind gusts anywhere from 60, maybe 70 miles an hour. Again, it looks like we have a tropical storm going on right now. That's Port Canaveral. That's where we're taking a live look. Let me head back up. I have a question about New Smyrna Beach, and we did get rocked a little earlier with the thunderstorm that came through. We still have a few lightning strikes around, some light rain, some lightning around, and then there's some light rain back towards I-4 closer to Deltona, DeLand, and Orange City that will have to move through as well. The heaviest rain is over, but again, if you're trying to go on the beach or just walk around or in the water or anything like that, I'd give it some time because we still have lightning strikes all around, especially closer to Edgewater. But there's the light rain around New Smyrna Beach, the Glencoe, Edgewater area. So again, be mindful of that as that slides through. And we'll see, waiting to see if they continue the severe thunderstorm warning for Brevard County until later. Right now, it is set to expire. All right, if you are just joining us on the News 6 YouTube page, what we are looking at, or on clickorlando.com or the Pinpoint Weather app, what you are looking at is Port Canaveral in Brevard County. That is getting rocked right now. We watched this gnarly shelf cloud develop over the last hour and move through. That was kind of the leading edge of some very nasty weather. That severe thunderstorm warning, that severe thunderstorm, I should say, came out of Osceola County and moved right in Brevard County, and that's what we are seeing that go forward as well over the next likely 30-ish minutes. We're going to get rid of all of this stuff and then transition to light rain. If you look back to the west, we still have kind of a long ways to go with the rain. It will be light, but there will be kind of intermittent lightning strikes in here. You kind of see even back in the light stuff that we've had lightning. Now, the lightning is going away closer to Kissimmee, St. Cloud, Claremont, Groveland, but again, we have been seeing lightning kind of spike back up again. So we're going to be watching that very closely again through the evening as these storms have been, again, as expected, extremely electrified. Most of the time in Florida, of course, we are going to get a lot of lightning, especially this time of the year. But today, even more so, as we get going here. Let's take a look at some of the wind speeds. This is out to sea now, so it's going to be a little bit worse, but 45 miles an hour. It gives me kind of confidence, though, that we are starting to see these die down a little bit. Certainly, that looks crazy up there. But, I mean, 40-mile-per-hour winds are tropical storm force. So remember that. We're gusting at tropical storm. Nice big positive strikes, though. So some very intense lightning show. There's been a lot of positive strikes today. Those are those big, big bolts of lightning. The radar not the radar, but the lightning detection can differentiate between the two, and you see that come up as a plus sign first, and then it goes into a normal strike. So when you see a pop plus, those are those extremely intense positive strikes. When you see that yellow one pop up, that is going to be the most recent negative strike. So the positive and negative strikes happening. All right, so Micco, let's check in on you. We've got some strong gusts, 40 to 50 miles an hour just to your west. Warning set to expire in a few minutes. Let me clear all of this out. Excuse me. All right. Grand Valkyria. Look at all the lightning around us. Floridania Beach. We've not seen any lightning strikes on the beach. It's likely raining a little bit, but you want to make sure you're taking things inside right now. Same for us in Miko. As we are watching this live stream. As we're watching this live on this stream, the severe thunderstorms that are going through. All right, so Weather Service is continuing a marine warning now as the worst of the storm is pushing out to sea. It's still rocking right there, but it does look like, it appears anyway, that they're going to let that severe thunderstorm warning expire, and it does look certainly less intense than it was entering Brevard County, where we had wind gusts. Again, the radar was estimating 60 to 70 miles an hour, but again, you can't really see much still. Blinding rain through Port Canaveral. That is a live look there if you were just tuning in from us. Just tuning in, again, on clickorlando.com or the New 6 YouTube page. Welcome, everybody. Welcome in the comments to everybody. I'm going to try to get to some extra comments, but let's see here. All right, so I had a request for future radar. That was more for Citrus County, but I'll kind of back this up and just kind of show you that things do, there's 8 o'clock tonight, things do quiet down, but you see the light green there. So we are still going to be in and out of some light showers, maybe a rogue rumble of thunder, so just be on the lookout for that. Certainly nothing like what we had today, and then eventually fizzle out, or what's going on right now anyway. So we are going to get done with this as a whole. The most intense stuff momentarily, but still, and this is a good example of what I just kind of said, notice back towards Orlando. There's that rogue lightning strike. That just happened. A couple of strikes just happened. One in Pine Hills, one closer to Azalea Park in Conway. So we still have light to moderate rain falling kind of all over the place right now. We do have a nice dry pocket closer to Lake Panisofsky in the villages. Leesburg, Umatilla, Eustis, Asatula were dry for the time being, but there's more light rain coming down from Marion County. And then look at how highly electrified those storms are. We're going to hang with you here for a couple more minutes as we watch. We got another strong positive lightning strike coming out of the deal. What's going on in Port St. Lucie? Yes, these are slow moving. That's been the other thing, too. We have several flood advisories out through Central Florida due to of course, we always get heavy rain in the summer, but they're slow moving. There's a lot of them out there. So, again, just watch out for flooding. I'm sure there's going to be more flood advisories coming from Brevard County. I will show you that via this loop kind of pushing through. That's over the last 30 minutes. Not much progress being made. And there's that outflow boundary that we were just talking about. And just like that, the National Weather Service has canceled or allowed to expire the severe thunderstorm warning. Also, you may have seen some flashes of lightning up there. That's the port cam. It's crazy right now. Again, it's hard to believe that's not a severe thunderstorm warning, but that just goes to show, again, those levels up. There's the lightning again. If that's on a severe thunderstorm, when a warning is issued, you know you need to take cover. So, again, it's a good reminder to make sure you're taking those things seriously. All right, I had a question about these have if these have the potential to produce tornadoes. The answer to that is likely not. I'm not ever going to say no, especially when we have this going on, and I'll show you why in a second. This is not a tornado setup, though, by any means. The only way we're going to get one is if it finds something it likes right along the East Coast sea breeze, kind of like this situation, where you have, this is an outflow boundary here. See that little stripe of blue coming through? And then we have more outflow coming through right here. And we also have the East Coast sea breeze kind of pinned a little bit. It's always when these storms come in from the west, the East Coast sea breeze is there to act as another rotation point, shifting winds at the surface, and there can be a quick spin up there. So only right along the coast, that's the only shot. But I will say into Brevard County, that chance is pretty much zero now, certainly up here in Volusia for us in Flagler as well, now that it has been raining so much for so long. So I don't want to say it's 0%, but this is not a tornado day by any means. The main threat today is going to be flooding in urban areas, and then that isolated damaging wind gust going through. Alrighty, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the live stream on clickorlando.com and on the free Pinpoint Weather app. If you have been tuning in from our YouTube channel on News 6, if you found this content helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe when the weather turns crazy like this. We stream live, we talk about it, and we let you know what's coming. Again, it's going to be nasty in Brevard County, likely for the next 30 to 40 minutes, maybe even the next hour. If you have a TV nearby, Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells is pinpointing these throughout the rest of the evening. He's going to continue to talk about this. Again, the threat is not over for a lot of heavy rain, the potential for flooding, and then a lot of lightning. Look at those strikes. Before I go, I do just want to look at how many strikes are in here. 562 lightning strikes picked up by lightning detection over the last 15 minutes. Crazy amounts, and that's basically just with those storms right in Brevard County, Indian River County, and then a few rogue lightning strikes back towards Orlando, Kissimmee, and St. Cloud as well. So just some crazy, crazy stuff going on. Thank you guys a ton for tuning in today. Again, if you found this content helpful on YouTube, please subscribe. We'd love to have you. Hit that thumbs up button as well. And again, if you were watching on clickorlando.com or on the Pinpoint Weather app or on YouTube, if you shot a picture of these crazy clouds coming through today or have video of flooding or storm damage, upload them to the Pin It section of the Pinpoint Weather app. It's a little camera icon. It's a free download. It's free to sign up. Or head to clickorlando.com/pins. Again, it is free to sign up. And again, we can show those pictures and video that you take on air and online. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. Please be safe in that lightning. It's crazy out there.